So we will go to github.com to create a GitHub repository. First of all, we will go to sign up. If you don't have an account, you need to sign it up with your email ID and password. So let me put up mine. I already have set up with the same email ID, so it would give me an error saying that the email is already taken. So I will directly go to sign in, put in my username and password over here. So yeah, here I am logged into my profile. So to my account, I will go to repository. I'll go to new repository. I will set up a new repository with some name such as GitHub practice, Git practice, and I would not do any other settings over here. I would keep it public. I will not add any gitignore and no licensing thing. I will just click on create repository. So this is a simple repository, steps to create a simple repository, and here are the commands what we would be following up to set the Git on our local system. I have opened up the VS Code and I have created a new folder, practice Git demo. It is just a blank folder. I would go to the terminal of it and write the first command, which is git init. So this command would be initializing, or you can say creating a Git repository within this practice Git demo folder. Once I hit run, it says it has initialized an empty Git repository. You can see the folder name is .git. It's a hidden folder. If you see over here, it's in hidden folder. If you open it up, it has got its own hierarchical folders created inside it, which takes care of all the Git functionalities. So once we have initialized it, now we can create any new file over here. For example, let us create some Python file, and let me have create some function for some example addition of two numbers, you can say. So yeah, this file has got two line of program. You can see once I have saved this file, Git has already started tracking it. So now it says that this file is still untracked, so it has not been kept in any stage environment or any stage location for Git to commit. So what next step we'd be doing is we would be committing this change. First of all, we need to add this change. So if you see over here the status of, if you run the git status command, you can see over here that this file is still untracked, so we need to add up the file. So I will write git add app.py. I have added it up, and try and git commit first commit. So this is just a message which I want to give to this commit, which I am performing right now. So I have committed it. It says one file has been changed and two insertions has happened. These two lines has got inserted. Okay, so far so good. Now the next task would be I need to check on which branch I am. We'll talk about the branches now. So by default, Git is on main branch. Earlier Git used to provide master branch, and then Git has now changed, done some updates, and now it has been giving main as a default branch. So we don't need to write the command of switching from master to main, which we used to do before by this command. Okay, so we don't need to run it anymore. The next task would be if someone who is setting a Git for the first time, they need to set a few configuration variables. So that those would be git config. You need to set up your username. So just an example, this would be your username. Whatever username you have, you can provide that. I am providing mine. So since I have already done the setup, so I would not be doing this, I would not be executing this command, but yeah, this is how you would be setting up your username. And next would be configuration of, my bad, I have given here wrong. It is git config global, then you should write user dot name and then followed by the username which you want to provide. Okay, so this is for the username. You need to do the same for email address, so it would be git email. The username doesn't have any validation. You can give up any username which you want to have. The email address should be the email address with which you have created the GitHub account. Okay, so this is my email address. So I need to set it up the global config. Once I've done the setup, so all the Git instances in my local system would be able to understand that what is the username and password I need to map coordinate with. I need to have the configuration. So yeah, so far so good. Now what we need to do is we have initialized the repository. We have added up a file in it, added up a new file in it, and then we have already done the setup. Setup in the sense like if we want to push our changes to any of the Git remote repositories, so we will be able to do so. But even now we haven't created any remote repository, or we haven't linked our local repository to any of the remote repository. So if you remember, like couple of steps back, we have already created a remote repository, which is this, and this is the path where our remote repository is created. So I would copy this path. Now we need to create we need to add that that repository as an git remote add origin. This origin is a reference what we are having of the remote. Okay, so git remote add origin followed by the path of the remote repository. So hit enter. Now if you see the same command again, so now we have gotten access to the remote repository, and we would be able to perform all the push and the pull commands. Okay, so now since we have got link to it, so we can push our changes what we have locally made up and we have committed in our main branch. We can push it to the remote branch. The command would be git push origin -u origin. U means upstream, whatever upstream means from our local system, whatever the next system we are transferring the code. So the convention says that is the upstream destination. So that's how that's why the command is git push -u origin followed by the main, the name of the name of the branch what we have created. Okay, the -u command is optional. You can also skip it. Git takes care if you doesn't provide it. It does it automatically. So once we done the push, so now it says that the changes have been pushed, and the main branch, the branch called main, has now the link to origin/main. Origin means which is in the remote github.com, and over there the branch name is main. So if you refresh it, you can see over here one of the file, whatever changes we have made up is available over here. Talk about creating different branches where whatever work we will be performing in any project, we should be creating different branches for different work. So this is an example of it. So now we'll be creating a separate branch. So for example, right now the branch we are on the main branch, right? So the command what we will be following up would be git checkout and the name of the branch, for example branch A. Okay, so we have switched to the new branch. So let me, and the same file, we can add up new files as well, and we can as well modify on the same file. So let me add a few more functions to it. For example, subtraction, I've added up a new function called sub, which means subtraction. Okay, so this is a new change which has gone into this, the same file but within this branch A branch. Okay, so now if I take a look at it, it has been modified. You can see over here it is now git has tracked as, and it has, since it has been modified, now we add up the change and I will commit the change with a message. I have changed the file. I've changed the committed the changes. Now task is to, since we are working on a branch and we are done with the change on that branch, the next task is to ensure that this change is merged to the main branch, the master branch, which everyone would be referring to. Okay, so for that what we'll be doing is we would be writing git. First of all, we need to switch to the main branch, so git checkout main. So we have now switched to the main branch, right? And after that we need to do git merge the branch from where we want to merge. So it was branch underscore a. So once I hit enter, it says that it has fast forward the merge. One file has been updated and 4 insertion and 1 deletion have happened. Okay, so we have updated the main branch with the same changes what was there in the branch A. So this is how you would be working on different branches, and you would be merging the changes back to the master branch, or you can say the main branch. You need to work on some other areas as well, and some other changes as well on maybe on the same file or on a different file. So we would be creating a new branch for that, and we'll name it, consider like branch B. Okay, so this is my mistake, it should be FNB. Yeah, this is a new branch where we have switched to. Let me clear out the console. Yeah, so here what we can do is we can add up, or we can update the existing function. Consider like I am adding up a new argument to it, third argument, and this is what I'm using this parameter to it. And I would not touch this second function, I would rather create a new function, for example multiply, and it would do the same activity. It would take up 2 variables and it would return the multiplication output to output. Okay, so here we have done some changes. Let me add up some print statement here as well. This subtraction of numbers. Okay, yeah, let me, I'm doing some basic changes what anyone can do to a function, or to a function within different branches, right? Addition of 3 numbers. Okay, I also can update the name of the function. Instead of addition, I can make it to add. Fine, so these are the changes which has gone into the new branch. And right now I am on, let me ensure on which branch I am. Yes, I am on the branch B. So let me commit the changes. Okay, so I'm just checking with the git status what files are uncommitted so far. So the app.py is uncommitted, so I will do git add. I have added it up, I will commit it with some message like modified app.py. Okay, so some changes has gone into this branch. Now I will switch back to the main branch, where I want to ensure that all the changes has, I need to merge back, right? So I'm now in the main branch. So what we'll be doing over here, we'll be running the same command, git merge branch -underscore b. This is the branch where the recent changes is gone, and I want to merge that to the main branch. So once I hit enter, all the changes just came into the main branch. Okay, so I can commit the changes. Before committing it, if you want to see, so yeah, it has been merged. So the next command will be git push. I want to push all these changes to the remote repository. Okay, so I have pushed all the changes to remote repository so far. So this is the main copy of the work what has been happened so far with different branches on different branches. So once we are done with our work, we will be pushing that to the remote repository. So once we have done that, if you see over here, these are the changes it has came. Okay, Whatever branch we have created and we have merged back to the main, we haven't created any pull request for it. We just have created the branch, we worked on that branch, and then we merged that branch back to the main. So everything we have done it on our local system. So there is another way of creating pull request, and which would be more, which can be pushed to the GitHub, and once that pull request gets reviewed, we can merge back that to the master branch or to the main branch. So let's see that scenario. So I will create another branch for it. So right now let me see on which all branches we have. We have got main and then branch and branch B. So let me create a new branch. Let me create branch C. Okay, let me add up a new file, for example app1.python file, and I would not do much about it. I will just take some function from here itself. Okay, and I will rather modify it, just modify it for the sake of this demo. Okay, so this is one of the change which has gone into. Let me create another new function, divide, you can say, between two numbers, and then we can return if let me handle the scenario as well. If b is not equals to 0, we can do something like this, else not supported, something like that. Okay, so as simple as that. So this is a change which has happened in this new branch, and I have got this. Let me update something in it. Why don't I put some print method, print statement over here. Okay, so these are the simple changes what has been there, and one is a new file, app1 is a new file, and that's why it's untracked, and app is an existing file and which has been modified. That's why you can see as an am syntax over there. So let me see git status. So this is a new file and this is the existing file. I need to add up both to the branch. So git app.py and then git add app1.py. Commit it to the branch with some message, added node file app1.py, and modified the app.py file. Fine. So some changes has gone into it. Okay, so now what I want to do is, instead of directly merging it to the main branch from here, I want to first of all push this to the remote for someone to review the changes what has gone into, and then once the review gets successful or something like that, and then we can merge it to the main branch. So for that I would be git push -u origin, and I would provide the branch name itself to keep it in sync, like which branch I am pushing to the remote repository. So the branch name was branch underscore c, so I have kept the same name. Let me push it. Okay, so now it says that you can create a pull request for this on the GitHub by visiting this URL. You can directly go to, you can click on this link, or if you go to the GitHub what we have already opened up, you can see over there. If you go to GitHub, you can see over there the branch C has recently pushed some new pull request has came in, and you can create the pull request. Okay, so ideally both of the thing works same way. If you click on this to launch, the same thing. Okay, and it would come over here, then we can create a pull request. So let me use the same, and let me use the GitHub which has already opened up. So let me click on this, compare and pull create pull request. So it has opened it up. Now you can see over here I'm on branch C and I'm comparing this branch C to the main branch. Okay, so let me create the pull request first. So once I've created the pull request, it says that the branch has no conflict with the base branch. So if there are any merge conflicts, then it would have been highlighted in this place itself, and then we could have resolved the merge conflicts. So since there are no merge conflicts, I can assign this to some reviewer if anyone is there. Right now there are no reviewer within my the organization, because this is on my personal system, so there are no organization and no other person is logged into the same organization, so there are no reviewers. So no one is going to review my command, my code. The changes has came into here. If you see, the file changed. This is the existing file which has got a change in it, and this is the new file which has got created. Okay, you can see we have one commit over here because this is a new branch altogether, branch C, and this is not the main branch. So since there are no conflicts with the base branch, I can go ahead and I can merge my change. I will say just confirm merge. It says the pull request has been merged successfully. I can go ahead and delete the branch if it is not needed. So let me delete it. So this branch, whatever I have created up in GitHub, has been deleted, and now deleting over here doesn't mean it has got deleted on my local system. That still exists. It has been deleted in the has been deleted in this GitHub repository. So now if I go to, if it says over here one commit has merged from this branch to this branch to the main branch. If I go to my code, I can see over here there is a message called merge pull request has happened from branch C to the main branch. So this is my main branch. Okay, and you can see that both of the changes has came in. This is the app.1 file, and this is the app, the simple app.python file. Okay, this is the new change which just came in. So let's go back to our remote local repository. So if you see over here, so right now we are on get branch, we are on our branch C. I mean, this is the branch what we have pushed to the remote, and then we have compared with the main branch, and then we have merged it to the main. But that merge didn't came to the local repository yet. How can we confirm that? If we check out, if we switch to the main branch, okay, and if we take a look over here, see, main branch still doesn't have the print statement which is in multiply function, and this app.1 is still not here in the main branch. It is deleted, right? Because deletion means it is not there in the main branch yet. It is still, since it was already opened up here, that's why it was highlighted with the cross mark. But since I deleted it right now, see, you don't have any access to the change which was there in the main, I mean which was there in the branch C, but now not yet in the main branch. So for that we have to do git pull. We can write git pull itself, or we can write git pull origin main. Okay, so we have pulled everything from the remote main branch. Okay, so see, now you have both the files, app.py file and app1.py file. So all the changes is now in sync with what was there in the remote. But still we do have the local branch which we have already deleted it from the GitHub, but still that branch C exists over here. So we can delete that as well. Git branch, command for that is the branch name. Right now I'm going to just delete one branch which I have deleted from the remote as well. This is the branch which I have deleted. It says deleted branch C. If I check again, I do only have main and branch A and branch B. So yeah, that's all about it. Let us see how to add a git ignore file. Git ignore files are very important for a part of a project whenever we are creating a project, because there would be many files which would be created in your local systems which you don't want to track, or which you don't want to upload it to the GitHub. Okay, so for that we need to create a new file. The name of the file would be very specific. It would be git ignore. Once you write git ignore, and automatically the template comes over here. Since I'm using Python, so I need to choose a template as just type Python. It would come over here and just choose it. So this is the template for Python. Okay, so it's in the basic files which are supposed to be there in any program or any project. So those are kept over here, and we can definitely go ahead and modify this file to ensure that whatever folders, whatever files we don't want to track, we can name it over here. We can mention those files, or the files are the folder names. So what I would do, I will just go ahead and commit it to this repository. Once I've committed it, it is there. Now I will get back to my local branch, the local repository. I'm on the main branch, so I will just take a git pull. I've taken a git pull, and the gitignore file is available for me. So let me show you a practical example where gitignore file will be getting used. So for example, I would like to create a environment, like a virtual environment in my project folder. So let me create a virtual environment. I will just name it, for example, my VENV, my virtual environment, and just give Python as 3.9.0 and I can make Python. So let me create a virtual environment. So let it get created. So what would happen is, once this virtual file is created, you can see over here there is a folder by the name what we have provided, the virtual environment. It has been created over here. Now we don't want to track our virtual environments, and we don't want to update our virtual environments on the Git. So for that, what I would do is, I would be going to this gitignore file, and I will just look for the section where the environment folders are kept. So I'll just add up one new entry over here. That would be my VENV. Ensure the name should be similar to what the folder name is. See, okay, so we have saved this change, and we saved this gitignore file. As soon as we saved it, you can see over here that initially it was untracked. Okay, let me remove it once again, and you can see I'm removing it. Okay, you can see this is in the green color. That means this is a new file which has came in. Okay, and you can verify this as well, like git status. If you see, there is a new folder which came in, and if we write git add and with the current dot folder, so this folder, this my environment folder would get added. This virtual environment folder would get added to the git, to the commit branch. Okay, so now let me put back the environment, the gitignore again. So it become gray again, so it is not highlighted. And now let me see git status. You can see over here it was there before, but right now it is not. So that means gitignore file, whatever content is over here, git would be going to ignore those all those files or all those folders. So this is how we can make use of the gitignore. So let me commit the change whatever I have added up. So I have added up the .gitignore change, right? This is the file. Let me commit it. Modified .gitignore. Fine, I have modified it, and let me push it to the origin. So once we have pushed this to the origin, if we refresh it, you can see the update has came in, and we have got the virtual environment my VENV available on this gitignore file. So whenever we would be utilizing this git repository, it would ignore this folder name. Okay, so this is how we can make use of gitignore file in our project, in a project folder, in considering the Git scenarios.